about that other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 823 of the Immigration Answer Show. I got the little halo effect going today. How's everybody doing? I'll be here for the next hour. I am in a co-working space in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I'm going to be here for the rest of the afternoon waiting for Yusuf to finish his last class at the University of Virginia. Remember, I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. I see Rod and Janet have their cameras on, so go ahead and turn those off because we do it all off camera now just because we don't want to get anybody into trouble. How's everybody doing? Did you have a good weekend or week? Weekend's coming. I'm excited. Yusuf and I are going to go to New York tomorrow, so that'll be fun. And we're going to try to catch some baseball and maybe a show. What do you guys have going on this weekend? Let us know in the comments what your plans are. We're still in the fight in Washington, D.C. on the student visa issues. We'll see if we have a hearing on Monday or not. But the fight continues on behalf of international students who had their CVIS records wrongfully terminated. And we will just have to wait and see what happens. I hope you guys are in a good space and taking care of yourselves. I know there's a lot of scary stuff in the news, but there was a great ruling yesterday from a Trump judge that said that Trump couldn't use the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans without due process. So, and that was a Trump appointee, if I didn't mention that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can over the next hour. Check this out. Nurse Laura starting her new job on Monday. Isn't that exciting? We'll miss you around here, Laura, but we're certainly excited for you in your new life down in SoCal. I'm going to say hi to Rod. Hi, Rod.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
What's up?
Well, going through the visa process.
Okay.
My wife is in Nigeria. We applied in August, at the end of August 23, August 30th.
Of 2023?
Correct, of 23. Okay. We were married in June of 23. Our son was born the following year. Got a 2-year-old over there now. We already have his U.S. passport. He have his, consular report of birth abroad and everything.
Great.
Also, when I filed the petition, she has a daughter. So I have a stepdaughter, a 5-year-old. So I, of course, petitioned for them both.
You filed 2 separate I-130s?
Correct.
Great. Good.
Yep. Did them at the same time, but it gave me receipt dates of one for the 18th and one for the 30th. So,
okay.
But did them on the same day. And, it's been a bit of a moving target. You know how when you go into the USCIS website and it'll say, estimate until, decision. It's gone from, March to June to August, and now it's telling me 3 months all over again.
So neither case has been approved by USCIS.
That is correct. And it's telling me I cannot even ask a question or inquire now until September. So don't send in no messages till September.
So September would be 2 years and 2 months?
Correct. Correct. It would be 2 years.
Okay. What's your question for me?
Well, is that typical, or would one file a lawsuit to be against UCIS for a decision to be made sooner, or is that just kind of the date moving a kind of permanent thing?
Where do you live, Rod?
In Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, so that's the Eastern District of Michigan. I think that if you filed a suit against USCIS, you could put your wife's case and her daughter's case, your stepdaughter's case, in one lawsuit, and I think that they would USCIS would approve that case probably in about, or they decide that case in about 2 months, and then you're on to the National Visa Center. Most I-130s away, which is what we call yours, with a spouse overseas, 14 to 16 months, and you're past that. So
Yes.
I would, if you don't do it now, I would do it pretty soon, because it's ridiculous that you've been waiting that long just for the first state. You're a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever filed for a different immigrant or no? Rod? I think we lost Rod, but yes.
No, I'm here. No, I thought you were asking, had I ever filed for somebody else?
Yeah.
No. Now, we did actually apply for a visitor visa at one time, but after I went over to Nigeria and we got married and everything, we just, went right on ahead and applied for, we filed I-130.
She filed for the visit visa before you were married or after?
Before we were married. It took quite a while. We got married before she actually had the appointment at the consulate there in Lagos.
Well, so then I guess my question then is, when she filled out the DS-160 to get a visit visa, did she say that she was single or did she say she was married?
Single, because we had not gotten married at that time.
Okay. I mean, that may be the holdup, but usually that would be something that comes up at the embassy, not at the USCIS stage. So Natalie says, my I-130 for a spouse in Nigeria took 15 months at USCIS. So you're well past that. So I would seriously think about suing them.
Well, I guess this is a question I'm going to have to ask at some point about how much will it cost me, because I got to be honest with you and tell you that maintaining 2 households is taking a toll on me.
I get that, Rod. Sure thing. So the filing fee is $405 and our fee is $5,500. So it's just about $6,000.
I'm going to have to save for that.
Sure, buddy. No problem.
Yeah.
Just let me know, okay?
Yes, that's the question I had. I'm sure I'll be tuning again soon. And like I said, it'll take me a couple of months to save for that.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thanks a bunch. That's been very helpful.
See you, buddy.
Yes,
Have a good day. Yep. What a nice guy. Speaking of nice guys, let's talk to a guy with question. Hello, guy with question.
Hey, Jim. I have a quick question. So I have a friend who filed for an AOS and I-130, I-485. They did a FOIA, and now, nothing came up in terms of being detained at the border. However, in a family conversation, my friend found out that he and a family member were actually detained when he was a child, but that didn't come up in the FOIA. Now, because the packet has been submitted to USCIS, what is the best course?
Well, first thing I would do is get so your friend and who, a parent or another kid or what? Who was the other person with them?
An uncle.
Uncle. Okay. And is the uncle still alive?
Yes. Okay.
So in other words, right now, let's just call our friend Miguel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Miguel was in the United States. What was Miguel's understanding as to how Miguel entered the United States?
That they crossed without inspection.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is when he was a child, and he doesn't remember the other encounter where CBP actually.
Yeah, just leave that part out. Leave that part out for it now.
Mm-hmm.
So did Miguel have an attorney file his case, or did Miguel file it on his own?
On his own.
And Miguel does not have a valid inspection.
Advanced parole.
Okay, so Miguel got DACA and then got advanced parole and then came through.
Yes.
And now he has a valid entry for purposes of adjustment, and he's married to a U.S. citizen.
Correct.
Okay. So the I-130 and the 485 remain pending.
Yes.
And now Miguel has learned that perhaps he had an additional entry attempt, or that he interacted with CBP on the entry that he came through on. Do you know?
Uh, before that one, before the entry that he came on, yeah.
So he thought his one and only entry was in September, but there was another one in April with his
Correct.
uncle.
Correct.
And he and the uncle got turned around.
Yeah, they're both from Central America, and they were let go in Mexico.
Okay. And he was under 18.
Yes, he was under like 7.
And so, of course, Miguel didn't find this out until after he came back on advanced parole.
Correct.
Which means that when he applied for DACA and when he applied for advanced parole, he didn't reference this earlier interaction with law enforcement.
Correct.
And that's a big problem. That's a big problem. So he has a 45 pending with information on it that's incorrect, but pretty much his whole affirmative immigration cases that he's filed, his DACA renewal, and his AP, didn't include that information. And then you have to ask yourself, well, would he have gotten advanced parole? Would he have been let back into the United States if they knew he had a prior entry attempt and turnaround?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's one of those things where I did some research, and it's like, could it be that they didn't record it since he was from Central America, and technically they would send him back to Central America, but they were like going to Mexico, and this was the early 2000s.
Right. I mean, Miguel needs an attorney, and he needs an attorney yesterday, because an attorney has to talk it through with him. I would do a FOIA from CBP for him and the uncle. What's the uncle's status? Is he still out of? Is he here, or is he back home?
He is here, but they are not on talking terms. So, yeah.
So no help from uncle. Okay, well, this is the kind of case that Miguel needs to talk to an attorney about. They need to look at all the documents, and they need to have a private conversation about what to do next.
What would be the next?
Well, I mean, he has a pending immigration application that has false information on it, incorrect information on it.
Correct.
So he has a duty to alert them of that.
Yeah.
If he alerts them of that, then they're probably going to take away his DACA for lying to him, and they're going to put him in removal.
So, what is there an alternative to that not happening?
I am an officer of the court. We are live on YouTube. I can't do anything other than tell him to follow the law and tell him that he has an obligation to notify USCIS that he's provided them false information.
Correct. Yep.
But, as an attorney, I also would advise him that if he does that, he's going to probably get deported. So it's his decision.
Yep.
I can only outline consequences and things, and obviously, let's say that I had filed that case, and instead of let's say I'd filed that case, and then he says, "Hey Jim, I just found out from my mom that my uncle tried to bring me across 6 months earlier than I thought was my September entry." I would have to tell him to withdraw the case, or I'd have to withdraw as the attorney of record because I couldn't be part of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thanks, guy.
So, sorry. So, to move forward with this and inquire, can he message you guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys. See you, buddy. All right. We're going to go to Tunisian in the U.S., then Ms. Janet, then Hopeful, then Dully. Tunisian in the U.S. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing, Jim?
How you doing?
I'm good.
I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm here in the US based on B1, B2 visitors visa. Okay, I'm here visiting a relative, which is my brother.
You keep dropping your mic, brother.
Okay. I'm gonna speak louder. So I'm here based on a B1 B2 visa.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about like applying to get like an F1 student visa. Okay.
Yes.
Which I have like two routes. Either I go home and apply from home, or stay here and try to get the changing of status. Okay, both ways has their own like drawbacks, and I just wanted to know, going through from here and getting the I-20, then the I-539s, like which like do you have like any advice for me going the route from here, like trying to change status from here?
It's so great that you're asking me this question because I literally wanted to talk about this on today's show. So I'm actually happy that you
Okay, great.
you called and asked me this question. So first of all, let's not skim over the pluses and minuses of both approaches, right?
Okay.
So you said they both have their detractions, but I'm going to talk about the pluses and the minuses.
Okay.
So historically, it's been difficult to change your status in the United States, and you are left sort of in limbo trying to find out if you're going to be approved, because USCIS takes months and months to approve a 539.
Yes.
And it's very stressful for you.
Yeah.
But USCIS has changed the rules to allow you to pay for premium processing on your change of status.
Yeah, which is around like 2,000, I guess.
Yes. So my position is the only way that you should try to do it here in the United States is if you're willing to pay for premium processing.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're in 7, 8, 9, 10 months of limbo, not knowing what they're going to do with you. And if they get denied, you're sort of in a bad space because then you didn't leave on time. I mean, the embassy, if the embassy ever gets to talk to you again, they're not going to like the fact that you even tried to change your status in the United States. But it'd be much better for you to get a quick answer on it so that you can live your life accordingly. And to me, that's worth whatever the cost is for the premium processing.
Okay, but if you like go for the premium and you get denied and you go home and apply from there, will they know that you tried to change your status while in the US?
Yeah, you have to tell them.
Oh, okay. Okay. And like there's something else I wanted to ask you about. Like without the premium and you're going with the change of status, which takes from 6 to 8 months, they told me. And after like your 6 months visa get like after it's done, like I heard something about getting an extension. Like what do you know about that?
Yeah, to me that's the same thing of not really the same problems. It's actually the same form that you file for change of status or extension of status. So
Okay.
all the same problems are the same if you file for the extension. It doesn't do you much good because you will find out whether or not you got the extension around the same time you find out if the F1.
Okay. Okay. One more question. I have something like with the I-20 that I'm gonna get from the college that I'm applying for. They
Yes.
said legally it needs to be after 90 days of your arrival to the US, so it doesn't be something really wrong. Like, will I be in trouble if I applied for it now? Like, or
Well, so when you got your visa, you told the United States you were coming
to visit.
To visit.
Yeah.
And I assume that you've done your visiting, right?
Yes.
And if you file for a change of status in the first 90 days, they're going to think that was your plan all along.
Okay.
That might make it harder for you to get approved.
Okay. Okay, but if I do the I-20 now and take it with me home, there's no problem with that, right? Even if it's before 90 days.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And of course, the downside there is the embassy might not give it to you.
Yeah. Okay. So my brother here, like he was here as a student. He got here based on a J1 visa, then went back home and applied for an F1 visa, and he's here and he got married and he got his green card. Wouldn't that be a problem that they might see that I'm trying to do the same thing?
I would say that would have been more of a problem to get your visit visa, not for your change of status. They won't connect.
Okay.
USCIS.
No, getting like going home and applying for an F1 from
Yeah.
home.
So the embassy will figure. If the embassy figures out that your family is sort of in the business of getting visit visas and then applying for adjustment, that would hurt you. But what I was saying is that's the kind of thing the State Department could find out and do, but it's not the kind of thing USCIS would do.
Okay. Okay. Good. And like, do you have like how much success rate like a change of status is going?
Great question. I would say this is just anecdotally. I could probably, well, the Trump team doesn't publish the numbers anymore, but I would bet it's around 50%.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I always get worried about the long delay and getting. That's why I want you to do premium processing to find out yes or no.
Yeah. True.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
See you, brother.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. We're rolling on. This is our last show of the week. There won't be a show tomorrow. Could be a show Sunday, depending on what we're doing. We don't know what we're going to do, but probably a show on Sunday and then probably not a show on Monday, but might go back to St. Louis on Sunday. So who knows? We'll do a show either on Sunday or Monday. So if you're not on the text line, text the word show to 314-470-3300. This is the best way to get into the waiting room. A lot of people get sort of mad, but that's why you got to text the word show to SHOW, the word show, SHOW, to 314-470-3300. That's how you find out if I'm going to do a show. Text the word show to 314-470-3300. Also, if you want to do us a little favor, we opened up our Chicago office, and if you go to reviewhackinglaw.com, even if you've left us a review on one of our other offices, if you go to reviewhackinglaw.com, you can leave us a review for our Chicago office. So that would be great. We would really appreciate it. All right, let's go to Janet. Hi, Janet.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, Jim. How about yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, Mr. Jim. Well, this is a few questions, and it's in regards to both me and my husband. We are both on DACA. We got on DACA whenever Obama barely did it. So we were, the first ones basically that got it. We did advance parole last November. And so now both me and him have a legal entry.
That's great.
In October, my daughter will be turning 21.
Look at you,
and
Janet. Look at Janet. Janet's setting that fucking shit up. Good job, Janet.
So we are planning on doing adjustment of status.
Great.
With that being said, I've also been, researching and everything, and I see here that, okay, so our daughter right now attends Johns Hopkins University.
Wow, good for her.
So, but also on that page, she's not working, correct? So she has no income. We're those, we're the providers for her.
Of course.
And since we have DACA, we both have a work permit, meaning we both have worked legally in the United States since 2012.
Janet, you're telling me everything I want to hear. You're doing such a great job.
I'm doing my homework. You're
doing
the best
so
that
great.
I can.
I mean, let me just tell you, Janet, this is some high level shit. You should think about being a paralegal. Like, do you know what percentage? I know exactly. You're going to ask me about the 44 quarters, right? You're going to ask me about that you have enough earnings, you and your husband, of having 10 years of earnings that you don't need a co-sponsor. Is that what you're going to ask me about? Oh, where'd she go? Janet? Uh-oh. Janet lost her mic.
Give me 1 second.
There you go. I got you. I can hear you.
There you go. Okay, so yes.
Janet, that's some high-level stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, Janet. There's some immigration lawyers who don't know some of the stuff you've been pulling off. You should be so proud of yourself.
And let me ask you, and with that, in regards to that, right? I've, called around because, like I said, I want to be informed.
Yeah.
And I was told by one immigration officer, correct, that um, even if I had my 40 credits, I, or when I asked if I needed, if me and my husband doing, having our IRS forms, our W-2s, together, would that be an issue? And then he said something about like, oh, well, they're not even going to look at your income. I'm like, okay, why? If we're the providers, um, why are they not going to look at ours? They're like, oh, you're still going to need a cosigner. So that was one of the questions that I did not think was that was an answer that I didn't think it was correct, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to speak with somebody like you who knows, you know, and that was one of my questions. Since we do, like I said, have both our 40 credits, we've been working since 2012. Do we need a cosigner?
So I think you are actually correct, and you don't.
Okay.
I believe, I don't know for sure, because Janet, you
Mhm,
have to understand, and this is why I got so excited. This is very rare that you would have a situation where the beneficiary has the 40 quarters, the 10
mhm,
years of earnings. So that's probably why the person was confused. I'm 95% sure
mhm,
that if the beneficiary has the requisite number of quarters, it's not that they are a sponsor or a self sponsor, it's that the person doesn't need the affidavit of support, I think.
okay.
Okay.
Mhm,
So, um, so that I think you're right. I'm so proud of you and all the hard work you've done. I'd be happy to look this up for you and let you know for
yes.
sure early next week because
Yes.
I'm out of the office. All that being said, Janet, even if you're right,
Mhm.
if you could get a co-sponsor, I would.
I I do. I have my sister lined up with everything as well.
Yeah. So I would do so that's sort of like a belts and suspenders kind of a situation.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
would I think it's good to know that and you could
mhm,
put it in your cover letter, but
mhm.
I also think if you have one on backup, that's just going to make everything go faster cuz
Okay.
the immigration person that you talked to was confused. I'm not 100% sure, which
Mm,
means most people that are processing these cases they're sort of
yeah, yeah,
taught to methodically or mechanically look for
yeah.
a co-sponsor.
Yeah, and then with that being said, also, I know we are gonna have to give a background check, and when we did our background check and everything for DACA, nothing came up and everything. But in 2007, my husband did get arrested for disturbing the peace. He had his music too loud. We were young. He
Yeah.
had his music too loud. Went to jail one night. We bonded him out. We paid everything. And then from there, we've never had an issue. Do you think that's going to be an issue?
I don't.
Okay. Um, and then, just, what else? Like, I want to have my ducks in a row. So, what else? What other paperwork should I start getting ready for when my daughter turns 21? And more, like as in for the dad, because I want to know, like, do they request pictures, to make sure he was in her life? Because I mean, he has been, but it's just, they question more the father than the mother, correct?
It's pretty light. Is he on the birth certificate?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
And were you married then or no?
We were not married then,
But you're married
uh,
now.
but we're married now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say it's just a real. I should probably do a video on this. It's just real light evidence. It's just I would say school records that have his name on it.
Okay.
If you can get those, the birth certificate, pictures throughout her life.
Okay.
Any kind of proof of you guys living at the same, him and her living at the same address.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, whatever you need to get, you'll be able to gather pretty quickly when the time comes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's yeah. So then I guess that's it. I think those were my questions. And then if we were wanting, like I said, to hire you, I heard, I've done my research on the fees, and but your fee I believe is 5,500, right?
That's correct. And we give you a discount for the second case. Yep.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to ask because it would be two of us.
It'd be sort of the same case. Yep.
Okay. And we are in Houston, so we would just need to send everything and set up everything with you through okay.
When does you how far until your daughter turns 21?
October 27th.
Nice. All right, keep trucking, Janet. You're doing great.
Okay. That's it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, great call. Call of the week. How about that? Janet's not messing around. Janet listens to shit. Janet's smart. Janet's this close. This close. Thank God for DACA. It wasn't much. It isn't much. But man, she did it all. She got her advanced parole. She's got her 20-year-old kid. She's doing all of her research. She's checking out fees. Janet's doing it all right. That's exactly right. Wow, wow, wow. I love it. Good job, Janet. That made me happy. Hopeful is here. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you, Jim?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good as well. Yeah, I spoke with Romal yesterday, and he told me to get like to go on the live show to check with with my query.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so what happened is like we've applied for adjustment of status last year, but we got the receipt notice of the rejection after like after the expiry on my I-94.
Yes.
So I can't go out of the country,
Well,
or if I
let's
go
back up.
out, like, yeah.
Let's back up. Let's back up.
Okay.
When did you enter the United States?
I entered September 2023.
And who filed for you?
My wife.
And your wife is a U.S. citizen?
No, she's a green card holder.
How long has your wife had her green card?
Um 2.5 years.
And how did your wife get her green card?
With employment.
So you entered on a visit visa and had 6 months to be here, and you did not leave on time.
Yes, that's right.
So you're out of status.
Yes.
Has the I-130 been receipted, or did you file the I-130 and the 45 together, or what happened?
Yes, we've filed everything together. So they rejected the 485 and the other applications together with it, but the I-130, it says like it's in process. So I've spoke with you like actually like last year, and I asked you for your advice, and then you told me like if my wife is not getting her citizenship like quickly, then I have to leave the country. So yeah, but my wife just enlisted in the military, so she'll be leaving like at the end of the month, and she was told that she will get her citizenship this summer, like before her graduation.
Okay.
So my query is that like I've been researching, and we see like there is like a military deferred action. So, and with that, I can also apply for employment authorization. So I was thinking, like, I want to know, like, if I should apply for that deferred action and employment authorization, or should we just wait for her to get like, her naturalization and then file for adjustment?
So I've never done that military deferred action. I've never actually heard of anybody doing that.
Mm-hmm,
So I don't really have a lot of experience on that. I,
mm-hmm,
I think that if I were you and I had a spouse who was about to become a citizen, I
mm-hmm.
would I would not. I mean, the I-130 is on file, but they flat out rejected the 45, right? Like they sent it back.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah. So I think I would wait to file anything because I think it's just going to be cleaner until she becomes a citizen, and then file your 45 all over again
Oh,
with
okay.
your I-130 receipt notice.
Yeah, so my status will change from F2A to CR1, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And how long does it usually like take? Like for the adjustment?
Well, I would say at this point now you have a little bit of a more complicated history, so probably about a year. Like
Okay.
once she becomes a citizen and you file.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, hopeful. See ya. All right, all right. We got Dully in the house. Hello, Dully.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate it. I've learned a lot from you.
Awesome.
Uh, I have a question. I entered the US last year on October, the airport. So I applied asylum there. So my visa was canceled. The question that I want to ask, because right now I'm married, I did apply asylum last month, yes. So the question that I have is I hear that because I've been given parole with a removal proceeding. So I'm eligible for applying 485 right now, or do I have to wait until when?
I'd have to look at all of your paperwork to be able to answer that question. The way you were paroled in is determinative of what you can and can't do. Your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes, she's a US citizen.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd have to look at everything that they gave you at customs, and then we could go from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. How can I contact you? Because I only have this number.
Yeah, on the bottom there it says info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Email me a timeline of your case and attach the paperwork that you got from CBP, and we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. I'll do that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Deli. Have a good day.
You too.
True asks about how long does it take to get the results of FOIA requests? If it's a long, complicated history, it can take up to a year or longer. If it's not a lot of stuff, it could be shorter. Requests were sent back in January, and according to my lawyer, we've only gotten one response from USCIS. Is this customary? I would say yes. Could this be an indication there's a lot of information they're compiling? I don't think so. I don't think you need to worry about that. JJ, hello. JJ, hello. You're on mute. Then I got the postman, then fake lawyer. JJ, are you there? I'm going once. Going twice. All right. The postman always rings twice. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Jim?
Great.
Thanks for all the good work that you do.
Sure.
So, I have a fiance who's Venezuelan, and trying to do all the right things. We're engaged, living together. Went to change her license from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, and New Jersey put through the paperwork, and she got her license. But on two different rounds, and this came up, I just saw this in the news yesterday, but it comes around, the post office is refusing or is not delivering the mail. And the reason we know this is we have informed delivery. So every piece of mail that comes to our mailbox, we get a picture of it from the sorting center.
I have that. Yeah.
So we got one, didn't show up. Then it shows up at motor vehicles again. They sent it again. We didn't get it. It went back to motor vehicles again. And I've been I'm working with the local post office, but I don't know if I understand now that the post office is working with immigration now. I also didn't know if the state of New Jersey would be like, I don't know how the state's not just sending it out to my fiance. They're sending it out to a whole bunch of people. So
sending out what to a whole bunch of people?
Like driver's licenses and documents. She had a document that was sent to her from her attorney that didn't make it through either. And again, we get a picture of it. We know when it's supposed to be here, and then it doesn't show up, and then it gets returned. And when we talk to the people, like I talked to the person at Motor Vehicles, they're not even putting an endorsement on it, like deceased, not at this address, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So I saw the headline too yesterday that said USPS is going to start working with immigrations and customs enforcement, because they want every agency to be part of their war on immigrants. But I didn't click through the headline. I just assumed it was the usual stuff. But you're telling me that you think that they are singling her out and not delivering her mail because she's Venezuelan and out of status? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, like she has TPS and she has an asylum claim in. Some of her mail makes it through and some of her mail doesn't make it through. and the things that doesn't make through look like they're from a formal place, like from the state of New Jersey or her attorney.
So then I would say most, if that is happening, and I don't disbelieve you, if that is happening, I would imagine it's just some racist mail carrier, not an overall system of the, not an overall edict of the system.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 3 months, and we're trying to like just get
Yeah.
all straight with all our paperwork. And anyway, I just thought people should be aware too, like to watch your mail, because this is
Right. Yep.
the world's getting to be a crazy place. That's all.
I agree. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, the Ashman says that the Tunisian dude is his friend, and he told Jim's the best if you want answers. How about that? Thank you. And then Queen's asking about TikTok. No TikTok today because I'm not at the office. I'm not in the studio. Fake lawyer. Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Jim.
fake lawyer. How you doing?
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
I'm
Go
good,
ahead.
thank you. Oh, I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's just me.
Okay, I submitted my. I am nervous. Okay, I submitted my adjustment of status in August of last year, but it was rejected like 3 times. I listened to you and you talk about those fake lawyers, and that's what happened to me.
Okay.
So
What was the?
initially, I got another.
You go ahead. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Excuse me?
You go ahead. I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead and tell your story.
Okay, so after it was rejected 3 times, I got another lawyer to submit it for me. He did it on February 20th, and they received it on March 7th. I got a receipt notice, and then after the receipt notice, I got a biometric date on April 10th. I did my biometrics on April 17th. My work permit was approved on April 18th, the day after my I got an interview date for my I-130 and my I-485. Is this unusual moving this quickly?
Yep.
It is unusual?
No. I think everything's going fast. I think you're fine.
Okay, because
What's the
I was
basis?
wondering why
What's the basis of your green card?
my son did I just went up started my son.
Okay. And how long have you been in the United States?
Since June of 2016.
Okay. And your son is over 21.
Yes, he became a citizen last year, August.
And why did they keep rejecting the applications that the fake lawyer was filing for you?
Oh, she didn't did it properly. She makes mistakes with the fee. The fee was incorrect. She made mistakes with filling out the documents. So it was just all over the place. She didn't do it properly.
Okay. And do you have any other questions for me?
No, I was just wondering if it is unusual to go this fast.
No, I mean, I think I think there's about 20% of the cases that just the Biden improvements to USCIS finally kicked in, and there are definitely some 10 or 20% of cases that are going super fast. So I think that's just one of yours.
Okay, I was just a bit concerned about that. So that was my concern.
All right, let us know when you get your green card, okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the call. All right, there was a little bit of a delay there. It was throwing me for a loop. Let's go to Bruno. Hi, Bruno.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Jim. So a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, probably, I talked about with you about my naturalization process. within the 4-year 1-day rule.
Okay.
So I applied for it. I also tried to expedite it because I have an issue, a family issue, well, a health issue with my dad, that back in my home country. I haven't received anything like in written, like denying, but I reached out to them. They told me that he was not gonna process that. So okay, but I wanted to make, I wanted to see if because I need to make sure that hopefully, because I know I think in good morale and everything else, I comply, you know, and so I want to make sure that I get approved for my naturalization process. So I'm not sure if I would need some legal advice during my interview when that happens, to make sure that I don't get questioned about, you know, because of the 4-year 1-day rule. So if that is that a thing that I can bring an attorney in during my interview? Just want to make sure because I really need this to happen because I want to try to go back as soon as possible to take care of my dad.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we prefer to file the case ourselves, but we get hired for just the interview sometimes. Sure.
Are you able to share the fee by any chance, or
I think it's 2,000 plus travel.
I have a previous case with you as well that you guys helped me out with that.
Yes, we'd give you a discount for that. Where will your naturalization interview be?
That will be in Tampa.
Yeah, just email me. You got my email. Just email me. We can talk about it.
Is that Jim at?
Yeah, but yeah, you just told everybody my email address. But yes, it's Jim at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's fine.
I am so sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I think I saw it somewhere. So
yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Bruno.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
See you, buddy. Bye. And while we're at it, my cell phone number is Amani thinks I shouldn't give up. You know, one thing I do is I give my cell phone number to everybody after their case is over. But you know, we've been thinking, what do you guys think? Should we we were thinking that we might have like an emergency cell phone that maybe we share and different people are on duty for clients just because so much weird shit's happening. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we do that? I don't know. Could be a hassle. Uncle Jim, hello, S.
Hi, Jim. I have a question. You see how the asylum and refugee cases were posed?
Yes, I'm mad about that.
Yeah. When 5 years come and they are still on pause, or maybe after 3 years they are still on pause, are we going to, for people who just they approve asylum, are we gonna apply for green card before we apply for naturalization, or we go straight to apply for naturalization?
No. In answer to your question, none of this time helps you towards naturalization. It's 5 years from the start date on your green card, which would be, you know, if they don't decide any of these cases for 3 years, then all those people are going to have to wait another 3 years to become citizens. That's the point. Do you understand? So in answer to your question, you need them to turn that back on because all this time doesn't count for anything.
Oh, I thought they back it up from the day the
Just
asylum
1
got
year.
approved.
Just 1 year. So okay, let's just play it out. Around when did you file? Like, when did you file?
I haven't filed yet.
Okay, so let's say that somebody filed on January 1st, 2025, and now their case is on hold. Or let's say the case got approved on my birthday, September 13th, 2025. If they had come as a refugee or had asylum, then even though the green card was approved on September 13th, 2025, the start date on the green card would be September 13th, 2024. So it'd be 4 years after that, right? So one of the reasons that they're doing this is because they want to slow down legal immigration to the United States. And if they can add 2 or 3 years to people from shithole countries who got asylum or refugee status from getting their citizenship, then that's going to slow them down bringing their parents here, and that's why they're doing it. But listen, if you are frustrated with this, I'm exploring. So when we're done with the student visa stuff, which should be this week, I'm exploring whether or not we can do a big lawsuit for all the people who have asylum and refugee status and whose green card cases are on hold. So if you want to get added to that list, now that my man Bruno gave out my email address, just email me directly, jim@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. This is going to be the one show where we talk about my email address. I'm going to go back to info@ next time. But so everybody don't just like start putting in the chat and shit. Just leave it alone. But for today, my email address is jim@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. You can email me and say, hey, this is me. I was on the show with you with the 50-minute mark about asylees and refugees green cards. And we go from there, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jim.
Your brother. Yep. All right. Got time for a couple more calls. How's everybody doing? Nobody put in the chat what they're going to do this weekend. I want to know what people are doing this weekend. Come on now. Robert's asking about business class. I don't know what he was referencing. Concerned. Hello.
Jim, it's absolutely pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
Jim, my neighbor has a conditional green card, and he opened a brokerage account a couple of months ago. One of the questions was, are you a U.S. person? And the explanation is a U.S. citizen, permanent resident, or I think work visa or whatnot. So he answered yes. Today, he realized that when he entered his profile, it's showing that he is a U.S. citizen, or his citizenship is the U.S. He's going to work on correcting that with the financial institution, but is that going to be a problem when he wants to apply for citizenship?
So first of all, you're telling me that their stupid form asks, "Are U.S. person?" Is that what you said?
Correct. And the explanation.
And then they define U.S. person as citizen, green card holder, or someone with proper work authorization, something like that.
Correct.
So we're U.S. person, which of course is not a legal term or even an intelligent way of describing somebody. It includes a bubble of people that's beyond U.S. citizens, right?
Yes.
And he has a conditional green card.
Correct.
So I would fix it and tell those fools, I'm not a U.S. citizen, update your records. And when the time comes on my N400 and they say, have you ever made a false claim to citizenship? Have you ever claimed that you were a U.S. citizen in writing or in any other way? I think he can say no.
Got it. Okay. And then if he was to get divorced 7 months after he got his conditional green card, but he has plenty of evidence of the bona fide marriage, and it's yellow on the scale of green, red, yellow.
Yeah.
What are the chances? Well, first, can he apply for the 751 solo right away, or he needs to wait for 2 years? And then how difficult it is for him to get it?
Is the divorce final?
No, they haven't started yet.
So the timeline should be, if the marriage is over, the timeline is file for divorce, get the divorce. If it's less than 2 years after you have the divorce in hand, you can file the 751 early. Otherwise, file the 751 solo in the 90-day period, knowing that you're going to have to hurry up and get that divorce finished because they're going to ask for it sometime in the next year and a half.
Got it. And with enough evidence of mutual life, do you think the chances are good of it to be approved?
So I'll say this. Our office has never had one denied, but we do a really good job on these. This is a lot of attorney time. My big question is, to me, this is one of the biggest factors in answer to your question, is was the person who got the conditional green card in status or out of status at the time that they married and got the conditional green card?
Well, he came on TPS 15 years ago. On F1 15 years ago, and it's been on TPS since the F1 expired.
So TPS is not real status. So I would say that his case would be held to higher scrutiny for two reasons. One, because he was out of status and marrying this person solved a big problem for him. And two, because 7 months after getting the conditional green card, that's pretty early in having problems after the green card. And so I think the further you get away, the closer you are to getting divorced or having problems to the start date on the 2-year green card, I think the more problems that you have. So I would say a bit of a tough case.
Understood. They've been married for 3 years. There's so many evidence, and he'll definitely hire your company if you'd accept.
Certainly a winnable case. Just got to do it right.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thanks, concern. See you, buddy. Let's see what Samantha has to say. Hello, Samantha.
How are you, Jim?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, good. So I do have a quick question. My friend got married about 3 years ago. 2 years within the marriage, she decided that she didn't want to continue with the marriage. She moves out. They are still amicable, so she does decide to stay married to him to continue so he can get his green card. He does get a permit, all of that. And she said that she will continue with the marriage as long as she doesn't have to go to an interview. They do get called into an interview.
Why is she doing this?
I'm sorry?
This is immigration fraud.
Okay.
The marriage is over, right?
Yeah, the marriage is over. She just wanted to stay, just to help him out, but she decided that she didn't want to go into the interview.
That's immigration fraud.
Okay. So she just wants to make sure he's staying, he's doing his thing. She's staying. She doesn't want to go, and she just wants to make sure if she's gonna be okay if she doesn't go.
No, she's not. She should withdraw the I-130. If the marriage is over, she should not have an I-130 pending, and she not be trying to help someone out.
No, she is. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna withdraw. She said that he is taking care of it. He hired a lawyer to take care of it by himself.
No, but you're not listening to me.
Okay.
It's her name on it.
Correct.
I don't care about him. Right at this particular moment, I don't care about him.
Okay. How does she go ahead and withdraw the?
She sends USCIS a letter and says, I wish to withdraw my I-130 petition because our marriage is over. I mean, are they getting divorced?
They are getting divorced, yes.
Yeah. So she should notify USCIS that she doesn't want to proceed anymore.
Okay.
Or, if she wants to be nice and in fact help her husband out, she should put in writing to her husband's lawyer and to her husband, today is, May 2nd, 2024. I no longer wish to proceed with my I-130. I'm writing to you as a courtesy to let you know that on Monday, I'm going to send a letter to USCIS asking them to withdraw the I-130 with a copy of the receipt notice so that they can act accordingly.
Okay. All right. That was my question.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you.
See ya. Yeah, the old helping out thing, you got to get that out of your mind. Nobody should be trying to help anybody out to get an immigration benefit on something that's not ongoing. Citizenship case. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Jim, thanks very much for what you're doing. You've been very, very good help to a lot of immigrants. I have a couple of questions. What happened is that I have been in the United States for about 3 years. I have like 2 more years to file my citizenship. I came in the country on an employment-based visa. I have a couple of questions. Now, when I entered the United States, my company that filed me, what happened is that when I came to the country, I was supposed to go to this job. What happened is that I got a better offer with another company. And the thing is that I would like to find out if that's okay, because I have like proof in terms of what would have occurred 3 years ago. I filed all my taxes and stuff like that. And the company that I actually had worked for, I actually left that company and working for another company later in the year. So I have like all my tax forms and that sort of stuff. So I just want to find out if that's okay. And I would like to find out as well, like your fees for filing, fees for filing, fees for lawyer fees, and also also fees like for if you were to actually come to the interview.
Which would be where?
It would be in Houston, Texas.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and email me and I'll price that out for you. It depends. Okay. But right now, I don't understand. What is it that you're worried about? Is it that you left your employer that got you the green card too soon?
Yes.
That's what you're worried about?
Correct.
Oh, Well,
Yeah,
how long?
based on what's going on in the country at this present time.
Yeah. But when, like, what's the start date on your green card, and what's the day you left the company?
Right. So I would have entered the United States. That would have been around April 2022. And I started to work like around June 2022.
So how many months altogether?
Pardon me?
How many months altogether?
In terms of what?
When you got the green card and when you left?
Oh, just within 2 months.
Why so quickly?
Well, the thing is that well, I have like all the proofs, like so, like I would have been offered like a certain salary, and then I actually would have gotten like a better salary. Now, what happened is that this company that I would have worked for, we actually used to do like work there as a contractor, so to speak. So I would have gotten like a better offer there with that company.
So you can document all that.
Yes.
So I've handled a fair number of employment-based green card people applying for citizenship, and anecdotally, I've never had USCIS dig in too deeply into whether somebody left too soon after getting their employment-based green card. I think the only time they would really ever do that is if the employer felt or thought somehow that the employee had taken advantage of them.
Okay.
And never really planned to work there.
Okay.
So unless you think the employer dropped a dime on you and said bad things about you, I don't think this is something that you need to worry about. I understand why you're worrying about it given these days, but I'm not worried about this.
Okay. So can I email you like all the information? Yeah. So what I will do is like email you all the information in terms of like the labor certification for my I-140.
Perfect.
Like how I got through with my green card, etc.
Yeah, do a little timeline. Yep. Thanks, Sam.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care.
Bye, buddy. See ya. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Oops. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Like I said, we'll do a show either on Sunday or Monday. If you're not on the text line, text the word show to 314-470-3300. Also, if you could do us a favor, it'd be a big help to help people in Chicago find out about our new office. If you could go to reviewhackinglaw.com and leave us a 5-star review, we'd really appreciate it. Big ups to all the Yardies, especially Donna. And, yesterday we had our 10th anniversary. The Andrew Bloomberg has been with our firm for 10 years, and today's Amani's 9th year with the firm. So some heavy hitters have been with us for a long time. Good luck, Laura, with your new gig. I hope you like it. And I think about you every day when I'm watching this crazy The Pit, which I really like, but man, is it sad. It's a good show, though. Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you sometime soon.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.
I mean,